Close.
Nearly got you on there, Mossy. Hello, everyone.
It's a one-handed bandit.
It's a one-handed bandit, is it, Emma?
Mm-hmm.
Good one. That's very funny. You're a funny guy. Alright. We're making her a redhead, Moss.
No.
What colour hair is she having?
Blonde.
Blonde?
White wine.
Blonde like yours.
Why are you making a red face?
It's a great question, Emma, and I'll answer that for you and for all the people that are watching. Human beings have blood vessels and stuff underneath their skin. And we then have successive layers of translucent skin on the top of that, all of our blood vessels and so on. And so when you are painting a toy soldier, such as this one, you want to have the redness subtly coming through, because that mirrors the subcutaneous effect of blood.
The dermis and the epidermis.
Yeah, great stuff, Emma. Subcutaneous, you know what that means?
Underneath the skin.
Well done. It might not mean that, I'm not sure.
Underneath the cuticles.
And your cuticles.
You're cute.
Exactly. Your cute ickles. No, it's a wonderful question, Emma. Well done. I just feel like using a smaller brush for a little while. Maybe I'll try this one. What's this one? Broken Toad Zero. Yeah. Just feel like we might try and do some fine detail on this figure. Let's see how we go. Struggling with the focusing camera. What are you thinking? Alright, so on this piece, I want to do a little bit of a rim light on this side, and then we're going to have an orangish glow on the underside. I get Joan of Arc vibes from this bust. And as we all know, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake for mostly just being a woman, I would suggest. And having lived with Emma now for a few months, I quite understand why they burned her at the stake. She's brushing her teeth, so she didn't hear that, by the way. Luckily for me. No, it's good. Good feeling starting a new project. I talk about it all the time. New project. Oh, I had a great plan for my diorama for the little blacksmith figures. I come up with my plan. So that is exciting. That project's I'm probably going to try and do that for QMHE and Guilds Inn. It's probably doable, but we will see. Guilds Inn's actually not that far away. Yeah, it's going to be nice to paint this figure, I think. She's quite simple. Don't need to be super concerned that she's hyper detailed and there's so much to do, so you can just sort of enjoy the various bits and pieces. And I don't know if I said hello to either of you, Sleepy Slaying Match Fixer. Hello and welcome. Thank you as always for your wonderful support and time spent here. This feels too cold and red, so I'm going to try some golden brown. Thanks, Yon, also for your support and for joining us today. Brought a couple of old projects down just to have a look at and see if we're far off finishing. So, I don't know. I did this one mostly on stream, I think, and I feel like it's actually closer to finish than I think it is. I did some nice stuff here. This is quite nice. Just needs a few little pops. Get the hair done. Paint the feathers. A couple of little things up there. I reckon we can move that to the finish pile pretty quickly. So yeah, that's one. And then this one's sort of in the same boat. It's a pretty nice face I did there, and that's some pretty nice stuff there with some interesting colours. So yeah, I may try and sort of knock over a couple of these girls and, you know, splash around with a bit. Yeah, lots of ladies today. Lots of ladies. So I've never really tried to do that effect that a lot of painters, particularly Eric Swinson, likes to do, which is that cast shadows effect. And maybe this is a time to do it. That's a good comment there, Sleepy Slang. That's Craig Zog will be hard pressed to take comment of the day away from you today, mate. That's an out and out banger. I'm not sure if he likes feed in that way, but he usually comes in and says some funny things, and that'll be the funniest thing I hear tonight, probably. I've moved into this brush. Weird. Look at me just being a fucking Dave Colwell. Just Colwelling it up. Let's get a bit closer. Oh, it's a great camera. It's been a while. I to be honest, I haven't had to order brushes for about 3 years, I reckon, because I'm a bit of a, like, I really am super organised, and so if I'm, under normal circumstances, I probably would have ordered brushes about 6 or 12 months ago and stocked up, but with everything happening with the move and the change and stuff, just keeping money pretty tight, so I haven't. But it's a good idea. I should look into that. Yeah, it is. It is crazy. You're absolutely right. It is. Yeah, everything over here is priced according to the fact that it costs us a lot of money to get it here. So I don't even bat an eyelid, really. But yeah, at this point in time, to my knowledge, we don't have any regulations about purchasing. I decided I'm going to try. I'm not making any promises, and not use my airbrush on this project. If I do, it'll be very, very late in the piece. That's funny, Mossy. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched. There's a YouTube channel which they have for what's that collectibles? Todd McFarlane's collectibles, and they've done heaps of really cool videos, like of painting videos, and they do airbrushes a lot on those pieces, and they use the airbrush in a very different way to the way that we use it. When I say we, I'm sort of talking mostly about myself there. They're much more about sort of really successive dilute layers, building up lots and lots of layers. Yeah, and I watched one of I think it was like Harley Quinn, and they painted a Harley Quinn figure with her makeup face and it was just incredible. And yeah, that's exactly what they did. They do super light base coat, and then they just splatter super dilute red ink and other layers of stuff over and over and over, and then they kind of come back in with that skin color, and you get what I was talking about before, which is, you know, these layers of stuff under the skin, which does, as you say, look very, very realistic, which would be cool. Be very cool to try. I think the thing that many people in the miniature world don't realise or think about that much is that this space has existed long before Warhammer, and like the historical guys have some incredible techniques and stuff that we just don't even think about. And I'll use a very specific example, right, which was showcased by Danilo, great man. I'm sadly passed away now, so hopefully resting well. But he did a video on a Monty Sansovino stream on painting red, and he painted red, and then he did a black wash, just straight black wash. And that was like the extent of his red technique, and everyone was like, "What?" And it looked awesome. And he obviously did more stuff after that. But yeah, it's like, there's guys who've been painting historical figures for longer than I've been alive. Hey, Jared. And those guys have a lot of amazing things that they could teach us if we were willing to learn, you know? When do you head off for WME, mate? Is it a couple of weeks away now, or? Oh yeah, still a little way off. How you feeling about it, mate? You feel good? Feel like you got some stuff that represents your values and who you are and where you're at on your painting journey at the moment? Or? It's good. Good lesson to learn. You got some historical stuff, or you just moving into like the open categories a bit more, mate? Leaning on your relationship with one of the greatest sculptors in the world. Is that what's happening? Coattails, eh? Coattails Clifford will start calling you. Elf Rider from Pina. Do you have one of those? I will admit to being a little jealous. I have painted that myself, but I would love to paint another one of those because I painted that when I was a bad painter. That's awesome. It's just one of the all times. I haven't seen it. Obviously, I haven't been paying much attention to many of the chat groups. Yeah, it's just a deluxe figure. Just like Lucas, the horse is incredible. The horse is just an absolutely incredible sculpt. Yeah, that guy rules, eh? Yeah, that was the part that I found trickiest about it. It was really hard to find the right viewing angle because the model was so dynamic and it's got such an unbelievable flow and shape to it, but it's hard to get the viewing angle right. I remember wonderful painter from the US of A by the name of Chris Shuri, who's one of my all-time favourite inspirational painters. He did a version of it, and it was just so good. That was actually the thing that triggered me to go, you know what, I'd really like to paint that again. Shan't be happening. Yeah, please do. You know me, mate. I'm not going to be much help, but I enjoy looking at it. I'm trying to decide at the moment, Jared, if I'm going to drive down to Guild's Inn. The advantage of doing that is that I get to bring Dance Macabre. The disadvantage is I'm driving. 12 hours or whatever it is. How long is it to Sydney? It takes about 14 hours to drive to Canberra. I wonder how long it would be to Sydney. I would guess probably about 10. Reckon I can do it in 10. Yeah. It's a big project, man. Biggest one I've done. You're actually probably one of the only people who's seen most of them, you know, because you came up for that. You came up for QMHE when Hyperborea was here. I'm pretty sure. So you saw Hyperborea, and no one actually saw Camelot except for the people who came to QMHE. And then you also you've seen Neon Nights, obviously. You've seen the Vampires one. What other one am I missing? Thank you, mate. I wasn't asking for compliments, but just observing that you're one of the few people that's seen all of them. Yep. Did I bring the Zodiac to Guild's Inn? Yeah, Zodiacs went to Guild's Inn. Yeah. And then Neon Nights went the following year. So yeah, I've got to maintain the tradition of bringing a stupid diorama, I think. So yeah, I've made the decision right now. I'm going to drive. Do you hear that, Moss? I'm going to drive to Guild's Inn. Take my diorama. You all good? No, she doesn't want to drive. She doesn't want to come. Mostly because she doesn't like me that much. Yeah, hard to blame her. The haircut is going well. What would be? Bring me a higher love. Where's this higher love we've been thinking of? Alright, do we try and do a shadow there for the thing? It would look pretty cool. Alright, so we kind of want a colder. I've never tried oils. I bought a couple, and I had grand plans. But as you yourself would know, mate, it gets hard to move away from just the things that you know you're comfortable with, that you know you'll get a result that you're happy with. You know, it just gets hard. I'm built different. Yeah, I'm not. I'd love to get into oils. I reckon that'd be a lot of fun. Well, if Marco says it, mate, you know it's true. Don't worry about the years and years of skill that he's acquired. Just as long as he says it, it's a goer. It does look cool, yeah. It's actually where the shadow, it's actually where the spray can didn't hit the sword that she carries, and so it's actually just a wonderful reference for where the the cast shadow would be if I decide to do that. So yeah, Brisbane Anvil, December this year. So haven't been asked to be a judge. Probably a good thing. I'm sure I disgraced myself last year in doing that. But no, I'll participate if I'm not invited to be a judge again. Are you going to go, mate? It is indeed in Bris Vegas, yes. We're starting to amass quite a few now because we've got QMHE and then we've got GHMX as well, which is actually turning into a pretty cool little event. And that's normally in October. Should come up for sure, mate. Clean house. International painter. Man of mystery. Coattails Clifford. Doing my best to make that stick, mate. So I'm five episodes into Andor. It's very good, season 2. Very, very good. It's a great show. I don't know if you're watching it, Jared, or have watched it already. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it is a pity, but it's better to die a hero than live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Can't remember what movie or show that's from, but it's good. It's actually a book series that by one of my favourite authors, Brandon Sanderson, which is called the Misborn series. And I probably don't want to spoil it for people that haven't read it, so I won't read it. I won't say what I was going to say because I would not want to spoil the. But I suppose if you know anything about, so basically he the question that he was asking himself at the start of the show. Yeah. At the start of the book series, the question he was asking himself was, what would it be like if the bad guys won? And that's the world that they live in. So I won't say anything else, but it's a it's a good book series. as Slangers is just observed. Last book goes in a very different direction. Oh, anyone excited about Kingdom Death? Get excited with me, because we've got new stuff coming. It's not far off. Always froth new Kingdom Death content. We had the Frog Dog and the Black Knight come out last year, and they were both very good experiences. And after the Gambler's Chest success, I think we're on for some really good Kingdom Death stuff. Yeah, it is absolutely miniature crack. Just gonna have a look at these pictures that nobody in particular sent me. Yeah, you really much better job with this skin than I did, mate. That's a really good effort. It's going to be a beautiful piece. Bring it home, son. Bring it home. Bring it home. Yes, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. And it's me. God, I'm the problem, it's me. I was just saying, yeah, I can't wait for the next Kingdom Death stuff. No, look, I like, as you know, friends, I like painting just about everything. We go through ebbs and flows, spurts.
Good night.
Good night.
Very early.
I did. It's me, God, I'm the problem, it's me. Did you have to do this? No, I just like painting lots of different things, right? There's no shame in that. Just did a big diorama. Lots of crazy projects. Oh, it's so sad to think about the good times, you and I. Oh baby, now we got bad blood. I don't think that we can solve them. You made a really deep cut. Oh baby, now we got bad blood. Hey. Mossy is the correct spelling. The very first one, you got it right. Does she know I'm internet famous? She thinks this is all a stitch up, mate. She thinks this is just me trying to get some time by myself. Correct. Well, thank you, Time Stop, for sharing with me the Taylor Swift lyrics. I was not aware of that being the lyrics. I shall endeavour to sing them correctly from now on. Good morning, X Ghost Guns X. It's actually evening for me, but good morning to you. My video that I put together painting rusty metal did not perform as well as I anticipated on the internet. I just don't do a lot of video making, right? I actually started editing together my diorama video. I actually got a lot more content than I realised I did, so that's going to be good. What's going to be really funny? Yeah, I did a whole video on it, Jazz. What's going to be really funny is that I actually recorded a few voiceover segments and face shots 12 months ago. And so I'm going to start the video and then I'm going to do the end of the video with hair that's about a foot longer than it was in that other video. And I'm just not going to mention it at all. It's not going to mention. You really can't see it? No, it's there. You're just being stupid. Yeah, so that's good. I'm looking forward to finishing that video off. It's yeah, it's been a nice project, and it'll be nice to see the back of it. I actually think what I'm gonna do next, after I finish maybe this bust or two, I think I want to try and do that blacksmith diorama. Those little cool gnomey guys. I reckon that could be fun. And yeah, I had an idea, which as always I'm quite happy to share. So I've always been really inspired by a Roman Lapart's little dioramas in a frame, and yeah, really like them. But then one of the other things I really like is book nooks. You know, book nooks, those little things that you put your books around, and they're like little things. Yeah, I reckon it'd be really cool to do a book nook version of these little dudes, the little blacksmith guys, and then try and make it so that it's a like a winding street. Which warrior ladies? Which warrior ladies, JC? If they're a recent one, I haven't picked up any. Yeah, cool. I feels like my life has gotten very, very complicated in the last 6 to 12 months. And it actually has, so I shouldn't be. You know, I was, for about 6 or 7 years, my life was just really easy. I had a very stable job. I had a very stable living situation. Everything just worked. And then I got sacked. Gave me back. And so it's absolutely fair that everything in my life just really has gone all over the place. What? Tell me about it. An N. Erickson book nook. Yeah, that's glorious. That is glorious. I shall follow that right now, and I shall consider very seriously about doing that, because that is a Deno project all over. Yeah, it's literally my bread and butter, that one. Mick back. I don't know if you've met me, mate, but I'm a lot. Yeah, every big diorama I've gotten to the end of, and I've thought, I'm just going to take a little break now. No more big dioramas. And then something grabs me and I'm like, I'm doing a big diorama. Get amongst it. you know? So yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, that's a nice figure. Why wouldn't they though, you know? It's just zero risk. Um, Lila Mev did a great video the other day just on how difficult it is to to be a model maker with the ease of 3D printing now. So we sort of have to take a little bit of responsibility. Kind of. It's up to you if you believe that to be the case. For the continued survival of our hobby. And when I say our hobby, I don't mean figures by miniature painting hobby thing, because Games Workshop's obviously doing fine. I mean the display painting world. Yep, in many cases that is true. And that the thing is, it's not the fault of the fault of anyone, right? It's just that's the situation we find ourselves in. So we've got to adapt or die, and that's like every other industry, civilization. Adapt or die. That's what happens. So. Mm-hmm. So I'll be the first to say that I really dislike painting 3D printed stuff. I feel like I can notice the difference. I genuinely feel like the resin cast stuff feels better and paints better than a 3D print. Which is why I've relegated most of the 3D printing stuff that I've got to be scenery. Yeah, it'd be hard for me to explain, but the best way I can explain, or the best way I can think to explain, is the difference of painting on Games Workshop plastic versus resin. You know, it'd be hard for me to pinpoint exactly what that difference is, but you can feel it the way the paint reacts to the surface. You know, whatever it specifically is, I can feel that difference. And it feels the same, probably less noticeable, on a 3D print versus a resin print. Well, a resin cast, sorry. Yeah, I'm absolutely convinced that if you spend lots of money on resin and have a fucking $50,000 resin printer, that the quality you get would be better. That's not the world that most of us live in. I don't know how many of you guys remember. Probably not many, because this was way back before I was a display painter. But I was attending the Steamforged Games SteamCon, which was held over in the UK at Leeds. And so I was in Leeds, and they did this incredible thing, which to my knowledge is the only time this has ever happened. Um, they they had a series of seminars on the games that they sold, but mostly just on like game design and then model design and 3D sculpting and stuff. And so there was a segment very first early on that was about how you design a character. And so they came up with all these ideas in this thing for different guilds, and then in the next presentation, they took the ideas that they had come up with in that first one, and the sculptors were like, cool, so we're going to take this idea design, which is called the Rat Catchers, which was the guild they chose, and we're going to sculpt a character from the Rat Catchers. Which character would you like to sculpt? And then they showed how to do a 3D sculpt by a guy called Russ Charles, who's one of the best sculptors I've ever seen. And then, at the end of that, they sent that 3D print back to their warehouse head office, and they printed it on their $80,000 machine. And then they brought that 3D print to the convention, which is about 4 hours away, and I then painted that model with the resin that was just incredible quality. And then at the end of the convention, they did a presentation which went out live streamed, where they showed off what they'd done, and that included the printing and painting and game design of this figure. I don't think there has ever been a figure that has been conceived, sculpted, and painted over the course of a weekend convention before. And I just thought it was a really awesomely cool thing to happen. Yeah, it was pretty cool. His name was Skulk, by the way, from the Rat Catchers Guild. And he ended up becoming a full release a few years down the track, which is just a wild exercise. Anyway, simpler times. I could travel all over the world. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from doing it now, right? But just the money. And the time. And the life. Yeah, we're talking about 9 years ago. No, we're talking about 10 years ago. 3D printing has come a long way in 10 years. That hasn't happened for the longest time. Whoa, whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, whoa, for the longest. If you said goodbye to me tonight, ooh, there would still be music left to write. What else could I do? I'm so inspired by you. That hasn't happened for the longest time. Whoa, 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 for the longest time. Bit of Billy Joel, eh? All right. So as is tradition on our Monday night streams now, we won't stay up too long. It's coming up on 8 p.m. I'd like to catch an episode of Andor before I go to bed because Mossy's been making me get up at fucking 5. It's still happening. It's just one of the all-time stitch-ups, I have to tell you. Absolutely disgraceful. Yeah, it's just a disgrace. Every day. Let's go for a walk. Why? And the last couple of days, it has been freezing. It was like 4 degrees. I don't feel the cold, right? I've got too much body fat. But I've been feeling the cold. I've been getting up and just crying. It's just awful. Oh, man. Yeah, that could be it too, Jared. Because I swear, last time I was in Germany, I was walking around in shorts and a t-shirt, and there was snow on the ground. People were like, "Are you insane?" And I didn't feel it. It just didn't affect me. Now, 4 degrees, killing me. Gosh, Jared, you and I are so alike. Except you've been wildly successful in your life and I haven't. So I guess we're not that alike. I suppose the other thing's the diabetes. Diabetes! Am I feeling the urge for an international show? You know, I have. I have been. I've been thinking it'd be nice to pull out all the stops on a piece and be like, wow, Deno's still got it, to myself. But the thing is, I don't think I have still got it, Jared, so. Yeah, no, I would. I mean, I've been painting a lot more off stream in the last few weeks, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I did 90% of the fucking diorama off stream, I reckon. So, um, yeah. Monty, I would love to go to Monty again. I'd love to take Mossy to Monty. She would probably hate it. She'd probably hate it, but all the toy soldier nerds. But the city, the place. I mean, it's also a terrible place for a vegan. uh, yep, that's it. You went to the Pellini place, didn't you, in Florence, the sandwich shop? I told you about that, hey? Alla Antico Vino or something like that. It's the best. It's the best. Oh man, that sandwich shop. I dream about that. Oh, it's all I want. All I want is just those sandwiches for the rest of my life. Every day. Ooh. Oh, Craigsog, you have no idea, mate. So the first time, I'll tell this story. I love this story. It's one of my favourite stories. I was travelling with my brother-in-law and my family. My brother-in-law, he was a big he's a big TripAdvisor guy. He was into apps before people were into apps, right? And so yeah, we're travelling together, and you know, we'd always ask him, "Oh, where should we go?" And you know, what's your recommendations and blah blah blah. And he'd always have a couple of little suggestions for us. So anyway, we get to Florence, and he's like, "Oh, there's this really highly rated sandwich shop. It's like number one on TripAdvisor." We're like, "Lead the way, day, mate." And we're thinking, "What? A fucking sandwich shop? How can it be ranked highly on TripAdvisor?" But we followed him, and we went down all these winding back streets, and we get to this little alleyway, and we see people in this big line, and we're like, "Oh, this must be a theatre or something here." So we keep walking, and we get to the front of the line, and it's the sandwich shop. There's people lined up for about 50 metres out the front of this sandwich shop. I've got photos of us standing in the line. And yeah, so we line up, and at the time, I don't know if they're still doing this now, but at the time, what TripAdvisor recommended was you just go up there and say, "Make me a sandwich." And the dudes would just make you a sandwich. And while we're standing in this line, me and my brother-in-law, dudes are walking from one side of this alleyway to the other, just carrying bread. And you can see the bread is steaming as it's literally just come out of the oven. There's a dude just carrying bread from one side of and every 5 minutes he's just going to get a new thing of bread. It was unbelievable. And then you get in there, and it's just like all these incredible cheeses and meats and stuff. Mossy would have a field day. She'd be throwing meat is murder signs at him all over the place. But so I just said, "Make me a sandwich," and it is to this day the best sandwich I've had in my entire life. And I went back there. We were in Florence for 3 days. I went back there like 5 times just to get a sandwich. Oof, it was delectable. And yeah, and then so every time I've gone back, I've said to everyone I've travelled with, "We're going to my sandwich shop," and they're like, "What are you talking about, mate? This cannot be the sandwich. It cannot be it." And they go and have the sandwich, and they're like, I understand. It's just insane. It's insane how delicious it is. But anyway, literally, the secret to their deliciousness is just fresh, delicious ingredients. They don't do anything magical. It's just fresh bread, local, like meat or whatever it is, local cheeses. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, JC knows what's up. No, you're probably right, mate. It's probably not. That is made with love. Physician, love thyself. Yeah, that's a good shout. That is a good shout. Alright, I'm just going to paint these little eyeballs a little bit because I find that helps a lot with how you're looking. Let's zoom out a bit so we can see. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We'll do some more stuff over the next couple of days, but might keep this one for stream painting. Alright friends, have a wonderful week. It's going to be a great week. I feel it in my bones. I'll catch you all on Sunday morning when we keep painting toy soldiers.